Welcome, FlipoClock fans. We have a new in-box Sears FlipoClock that I'd like to show you. Sears was the largest retailer in the United States from its beginnings in 1925 through the 1980s, reaching its pinnacle in the 1970s. In 1974, the 110-story, 1,454-foot Sears Tower in Chicago was completed. The Sears Tower, now named the Willis Tower, was the tallest building in the world for 22 years, from 1974 to 1996. Sears was known for their national brands including Kenmore, household appliances, Craftsman, tools, lawn and garden equipment, Die Hard, automotive batteries, Silvertone, electronics and musical instruments, among others. Lesser known is the Sears Tradition brand. Online searches will show you that most people associate the Tradition brand with a line of watches, some of which receive some attention these days from collectors as they were actually manufactured by some famous Swiss watchmakers. But of more interest to FlipoClock fans are the Sears Tradition branded 1970 digital clocks, the rolling wheels and the FlipoClocks. When looking through newspaper advertisements as well as Sears catalog pages of the 1970s clocks, you'll see fairly quickly that many of the Sears Tradition clocks were rebrands of clocks that we are familiar with. There are clocks that look like early Westclox tape models, digital clocks similar to the Kentech FlipoClocks, others that resemble the Blessing cylinder clocks. Interestingly, they also marketed a rebranded Tamura Lumitime KT10C, which they called the Time Beam. The one we have in FlipoClock Fan Studios today, the Tradition Model 4 7138, I could only find it in the newspapers once in 1977. It did make an appearance in the 1977 Sears Fall Winter Catalog, where they called it Contemporary Alarm with bold numerals. We see that this Sears digital electric alarm clock was originally $14.99 and was on sale for $6.99. Large, easy-to-read numerals, dependable alarm system. The Model 4 7138. Not sure why it's designated like that. Made in Japan. Here's our warranty. Sears Tower. All right. So this will go in my box collection, which over the years I've assembled. I didn't even know I was collecting boxes. Well, I'm not really, but I can't throw them out. Nice. You see how the cord is wrapped separately? The Sears digital electric alarm clock. And we have our operating instructions. All right. Clearly, it's not been used. It's an ivory color. I like this. I like that. I like the way that's set up. Nice flipper. That's on the inside. Not sure what that is. We'll have to get this apart and clean it up. But we're going to first have to look and see what the alarm sounds like and see if it's working. See if the clock is actually flipping. We do have a whirligig here, so we're going to be able to tell if it comes on right away. Oh, does not. So the clock does not start. It's humming. Well, let's check the alarm. Let's see. Okay, the alarm works. It's a little greasy looking, isn't it? And then there's that. It's on the inside. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I've got a lot of tabs here. And I've never had one like this. I wonder what that was. I wonder what that's for. I bet you these were sold in Japan. And that was a place where they could put the 50-60 hertz selector switch. It may be similar to the Seikos. The models, they start with DP. Okay, we're gonna break a blade out here. We're gonna see if that helps us. Let's see, what should we use? How about this one? This is a Kershaw 7150. It's got the stiletto look to it, so that should serve us well. So what I'm gonna do, now I didn't do that. Alright, I was a little bit leery, and I went off camera to do this because I didn't want to break it on camera. So I ended up having to get the Benchmade bug out to do it, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I thought that was too thin. I didn't want to mess anything up, so I got one side out. Yeah. I'm going to see what's going on up here. And this is where you got to take your time, because what I want to do is just crack it open like an egg. There's something catching there, so I've got to take my time. And usually there's a release, another tab, and you've got to forgive me here. I've not opened one of these before. Okay. Alright, so we'll use our little Phoenix E18R to see if we can't see what's going on in there. Yeah, there's tabs in there, and there's kind of like a loop. I almost feel like I'm going to have to reach something in there. I thought for sure, I had broken something. It's heavy duty, so you see it's got the loops in there. It's going to catch the tabs there, bend down, snap in. This has been together for a while, so it's not wanting to release. It's in good shape. Coming. Oh my, look at that. Okaya Kogaku Company. Power down again. And I don't like to be a bad influence, because we really shouldn't be working on these when they're powered. They've done a good job here of keeping the wires insulated, though. So you see here, we talked about that blank space on the back. That's exactly what this is. This is the switch. They've cut it off, and it would have had another gear here, and you would have switched that gear train, and it would have allowed it to be run on either 50 or 60 hertz. And so clearly it's set up for 60 hertz, or they wouldn't have sold it, you would hope. So we got to get into here and see if it just needs, maybe it needs greasing or something. I learned that a good way to release these tabs is to use a paint can opener, because the tabs are inset and have to be pulled away from the case. When we open it, it seems obvious that they used no oil or grease and probably didn't need to. The thing about these types of motors is that they can as easily start one direction as the other. This oddly shaped gear is designed to force the motor to start only in the correct direction. Just need to release more tabs to get this plate removed. Ultimately, what I found was that the rotor seems to have some dried grease on it and was a little stiff. That was easily fixed. Unfortunately, we developed a more serious issue, and one that makes me wonder if it was the cause of these clocks not being popular or marketed only for 1 year. We know the coil was working earlier, or the alarm would not have sounded. But somehow one of these exceedingly small wires from the coil came loose. I will not take the blame for this, because there was no way that anything that I did should have stressed the wire enough to break it loose. It's almost impossible to see, but the lead on the left is loose. I had to gently scrape the varnish insulation from the wire with a razor blade. This is demonstrating that it should work if resoldered. This is very delicate work, because the coil wire will melt if you look at it too hard. But ultimately it's back in place. And there it is, the Sears Tradition Model 4 7138 flip clock. Somewhat of a difficult clock to open up and work on, but to me worth it for the rarity and the great look of this clock. Well, thanks for taking the time.